Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is the 1st of March. So who's ready for the great unthawing? Anyways, to the charts. Oh my gosh, where is my chart? Which chart am I supposed to be looking at here? Which one is what? It's this one. No, it's not this one. This one. There we go. Okay. Man. So I got a new cord for my headphones, but I'm pretty sure that this earpiece is just messed up and I can only hear out of one ear and it's driving me crazy. Anyways, equities opened up slightly higher over the weekend and since then have pushed up pretty well. Of course, pretty ugly action on Thursday, and then Friday wasn't great either. But the real story last week being the Treasury yields on Thursday taking a real dive, but then on Friday going into the close, quite a significant pullback. So, do we continue selling here? Or are we going to get some reprieve in treasuries? Well, I think that we could pull back. Maybe we could fill this gap up here. But overall, I think that we're likely to go sideways for a while in the treasuries. I do see CTAs kind of taking profits and so forth. I mean, this right here, the whole question was, how much of this is like people looking for inflation? How much of this is the supply? How much of this is just like the end of month and so on and so forth? And I think that the way that this is played out strongly suggests that the reason the yields rose so much was because the market is unable to absorb the supply being put out into the market by the Treasury. And thus it's happening at the end of the month and around the auctions. And then when the futures rolled over, everybody covered because, you know, all these CTAs and everything were short. So that's good overall. It means they're not so concerned about inflation itself. Doesn't mean that the inflation's not going to come. Here you can see gold. Gold was just awful on Friday. It looked good when they were above 1,800, and now, no. I mean, it's not the best chart, is it? No, it's not. Silver still looks like okay though. I mean, we're still higher than like just after the silver crash, and you know, we're still higher than when they took off. So, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's not so bad. And really, if we are concerned about inflation, it seems like the market is not yet. But if we are concerned about inflation and devaluing dollar, I think that gold is a good place still. Going into copper's, you know, well, it came back, but it's still doing pretty good. Everybody's really bullish on copper. Also, oil's looking pretty okay. OPEC this week, so we got that going. Now, I'm a little concerned overall, though, still. And here's why. Oh, look, see, Vlad is already pointing it out for us. The market is thin. I mean, the E-minis look like about what they usually are at this time of day, right? But why are the treasuries only putting up 1,000? They're only putting up 1,000? Seems to me that the market makers are still concerned. It's so light. This is not, I don't know what's going on here. I mean, I'm on the right one, right? M. Let's see here. We come over here. ZN M. June. And I mean, it's the new month, so we're definitely... I'm not sure what the deal is here, but the liquidity is light, and that is concerning. Wynn's got all these great updates for us. You should go to, I always read the News Squawk morning rundowns. That is the way to do it. Oh, wait, do I have it February 1st? Oh, gosh. March 1st. Okay. Fix that. Get text to speech working here. Bitcoin up 5%. It's so funny. It's so funny the way that they read gold. Bitcoin, a 1% move is a big deal. And you look at the chart and you're like, it doesn't really matter. I tell you what, they were like so close to the edge on Sunday. So close. Could still do it. It could still do it. Just take the right whale coming in and saying, all right, I'm going to sell it into 4,500. Whatever. Now, on the Bitcoin front, there was a ton of action. Some Twitter account claiming that they have inside information from the bank that Tether uses and threatening to release it. But he's doing a lot of attacking critics and not showing us the goods. So I think that it was supposed to come out today, and we'll see what happens. There's maybe a little bit of risk out there in Bitcoin, but as of now, I would still consider it unverified. And I'm starting to think that the guy is maybe just full of crap, How come my 5-year has not been rolled over? Rolled over. There we go. Save the workspace. And have any of our robots taken positions? No, they have not. Okay, so, they're giving me, there is news today? Let's see, what do we got? M2 money supply for Russia and Canadian current account. Oh man, he's so loud. Okay, I'm gonna turn him down.
Winston's mom says Germany's benchmark 10-year bond yield was down around 5 basis points, also below last week's spike.
You should just change your accent to the German one. You just do the set accent. Exclamation point, set action, Germany F. Why do I have it as Germany? I wish I could fix it. I should make a little thing so that I can change what voice it reads into over here on the interface or something. Wow, Brannigan Derek grew up in South Africa? I didn't know that. I remember growing up in South Africa, sitting in my master's economics class discussing the one thing that could change the course of my country's economic future. Today, I believe, as I did then, free education will empower individuals in the world. One day, education will be free. Okay. You first. Oh, that's an interesting. Okay, Patrick Rooney retweeting something where he was saying, "This guy, a glimpse of mathematics. If you zoom in infinitely on the smooth curves, they will look just like straight lines. If you zoom on the absolute value of x at x equals 0, you will always see the sharp corner." No. It's all one word. Set accent, all one word. You almost had it. Yeah, on the political front right now, it seems like it's all about Kumo. Oh, and Donald Trump spoke at CPAC. Everybody's saying, is Trump gonna run again? Because his speech sure make it seem like he wants to run again. No. You still have to put the exclamation point. Every you always feel like that. It's like you're trying to do something in code and you make every little mistake that you can. That's what usually happens to me when I'm coding, man. Especially when I'm doing it on stream, right? No, you want to do with the exclamation point, of course, set accent Germany F. Like that. But, with an exclamation point in front of it. Okay, well, now that the 6:30 news is out, there's a little bit more liquidity below us. Is getting a little better. I think that I'm gonna watch it here in case maybe gives us it slips. We don't need that. What platform do you use? I use Jigsaw Day Trader and Ninja Trader 8. I have a video about it on my channel. You go, what is the best day trading software platform? And you can listen more about why. That's still really like the market makers just looks like scaredy pants. Okay, let's see here. So I don't think they will read the thing that you put in afterwards. No. You still did it wrong. You forgot the space between set accent and Germany F. And it's Germany with a Y. You okay? Sitting there, they're kind of throwing it out there like, wouldn't you like to buy it? Oh, one, look, we won't put very many orders there to oppose you. I thought you said all one word. I think German female sexy robot voice doesn't want to perform on it right. Oh man. Okay, this one. So far, everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. Ergo. See, I showed you. Look at the one that I put up earlier. Just put an exclamation point in front of that. And you should be golden. Well, it looks like trying to catch the edge not going to work today. Oh my. Haha. Okay, so now if I read something...
Winston's mom says I thought you said all one word. I think German female sexy robot voice doesn't want to perform on my command.
Oh, you still did German
Winston's
F.
mom says, set Accent German F meine Frau will mit mir einkaufen gehen. Kommt gar nicht in Frage. Vielen Dank Chef, ich wust, sei worden mich nicht im Stich lassen.
See, if you do set action Germany F, just that, no stuff after that, then everything you ever say after that will automatically default to German. Wow. So did you see how that all played out? Like, they did not give you any chance to buy on limit. There you go. See, Jesse does it. Got it right. Do you think the central bank will push back against the bond market turmoil? Well, I certainly hope so. I don't know. Like, the comments that we got from them the other day kind of suggested that they didn't think it was a big deal. So maybe they're like, this is good and normal and okay, and we can, handle a little bit of a rate increase. I don't know. I would say overall, like, if we don't get hyperinflation, I mean, the concern is going to be hyperinflation, right? Yields rising, and you know what? The point at which they rose here this last week, it's enough to cause some chaos, as you could clearly see from the S&P 500, but it's not enough to like make it crash, right? So I think overall what happened is probably a good thing for the market, right? Probably a good thing for the market. There's a lot of names out there that are just overbought. ARK. Excuse me. So I think maybe some of those will have to give them up, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the market has to fall apart. It just, you can get a little bit of rotation, have some of those value names that have been underperforming start to do well. It'll be a good thing. See if we do Jesse's now.
Jesse Rockwell says lol German is hard.
See, it works for Jesse. Because you got to use Germany
Jesse
with
Rockwell
a Y.
says was that an ARK Kaff?
Yes, it was. There's two K's in ARK. The more I look at there's a lot of stuff coming out that's, I mean, it's totally attention. So I don't want to say like, we saw it and we know what's going to happen and all this. It's kind of like when it's popular, you can be skeptical, right? But there's a lot of information floating around out there about their portfolio and how it's set up and the problems with it. And I very much agree with the analysis that I've seen. And I think that Cathie Woods has made some mistakes. Not if you ask Cathie. I think she's crazy. I mean, I know nothing about her. Like, I've been shown a couple of like videos on TikTok of her talking, and I get her whole theory and everything. It seems fine, but then when you look at how she's been running her portfolio, I'm sitting here and I'm like, you've got to be crazy running a portfolio that large like that. Like they were saying, this is like the largest managed ETF, right? This is like the largest managed ETF out there. And something like 30% of their portfolio is based just on Tesla. Like, how can you run I don't think she knows what she's doing. I think that she's, you know, I don't think that she really understands the finer points of execution and all of that, because, man. Well, can you see, by the way, I'm really mad about 0.5. Really mad about 0.5.
Winston's mom says prior to ARC, Kathy spent 12 years at AllianceBernstein
you
as
know
Chief
what?
Investment Officer of Global Thematic Strategies, where she managed $5 billion.
Hold up.
I don't know much about her either.
Where is it actually? Where did I put? Oh yeah, it's in here. Yes. No, it's under back end. No, is that it? No, that's not it. Oh, it's under lib. Backend lib. Voices. Edit. Save. Now, when I do that, if I just save it, it won't do it, will it?
Winston's mom says 5 Cathy Wood stocks
Fix
that
it.
were big ARK invest buys last week.
Cool. Well, and then the other thing is that she like doubled down, right? Oh my gosh, so we got filled. Where was that? That last one was at $35, $40. Okay. And yeah, well, anyways, so you touched on the other thing. That was the other thing I was going to get into. So first of all, she's like, she owns too much of certain companies. Okay, so like that's a really big problem for managing a portfolio, because if you need to get out of a position or whatever, like this is the problem with when a fund becomes so big. That is why Peter Lynch's Magellan fund did so well. Was that it wasn't just like he caught one good pick, which is basically what happened to Kathy. He had lots of good picks, and he had small investments all over the place, and his method of finding stocks was really good and overall just better than the market. And so he was able to get better than average returns on lots of names, hundreds of names, right? Kathy, they're having an issue with that, where because it's innovation, there's only so many companies out there like that. They're having trouble finding names to put the money into. And so they end up having too large of a position in these individual names. Right? And then she's very leveraged on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin falls apart, ARK is going to get creamed. And there's been a lot of outflows in ARK, which means that ARK is probably going to have to sell some of their holdings. If that continues today, look out. Look out, ARK holders, right? But I think it goes to a larger thing that I think we're going to have to start talking about more, like on TikTok and so forth, is you want to have a balanced portfolio. And it looks like the millennials are not. They're trying to trade it. And they're not thinking about their portfolio allocation, like which industries they're in and how much of it in each industry and how is it levered to interest rates and other things, right? How would you invest your money if you could travel back in time 1 week? Well, I don't know if that one makes sense because, all the stocks were down. like a prudent portfolio allocation doesn't necessarily match up with, what would you have done a week ago. I can only say what I would do right now. And what I would do right now is I would be moving out of high growth name and into more cyclical names and names that do well when interest rates are rising. So I think probably the primary application of that is you probably want to have some exposure to banks now. People haven't been buying banks at all. Banks have been really unpopular. But I tell you what, Goldman Sachs sure took off this past quarter. And with interest rates rising and with yields being pretty, the curve being pretty relatively steep, I think you want some exposure to banks. Morning, Ace. And what else? I mean, of course you would still want to have some tech, but you've got to be in a name that you think is just going to grow no matter what, right? I'm not. So one of the problems that I see is a lot of millennials really like Apple, Google, etc. I mean, like, I get it because those were the first stocks that I looked up when I was first looking at stocks back in 2008. And of course, back then they were like amazing buys back then, right? Now it's like, well, y'all get into Apple. I don't know if Apple is a good stock to be in right now, honestly. Any thoughts? I've never heard of Barrica Gold. What's that? It's a company. It's a gold corporation, is a mining company. Well, so I don't know anything about that individual company, but I think lately gold has been getting hammered and it's been very difficult over in gold, right? But we can, if there's going to be inflation, then that's fine, right? So I think it's okay to have a portion of your portfolio in gold. Probably. Right now, it looks like a better hedge is oil, right? Oil is just going, right? And it looks like, if we have one of those inflation sorts of things, that oil is goodbye. And, you add on top of that political volatility and everything. Gold is probably a better hedge now. I wonder if it's too late to get in one of those. Well, man, that one really took off, didn't it? Because that last one was at 50. They're already at 6.5. So that's really quite amazing. Well, so the thing I'm looking at now is that that's touching a significant line there. Like, maybe a little bit of a pullback, but it may suggest that they'll come back quite a bit higher. Williams due in around 10 minutes, but we're not expecting much. Senior Fed officials have been vindicated by this week's early Treasury action and will be under no pressure to reconcile the gap between market pricing and their messaging. Okay. Well, they are even still up here. Market makers just not willing to take a risk on. What does the volatility index indicate? Oh, wait, what was this earlier? Bloomberg says VIX comes in at 3 points. It probably meant that it came down $3. 3 points. Cool. There are no dark pools in futures. So I am not aware of a specific dark pool for any specific market, but I don't think it matters. You got to realize that almost all of these markets are derivatives. So there is going to be order flow that you can't see. For instance, here in the treasuries, there is the real bond market where people are actually buying the straight up bonds, right? So I don't think, though, that you need to concern yourself too much with that. So remember, what is a dark pool, right? Or why do they use it? Well, a dark pool is a place where you can go and you can make a large transaction with another large player and, carry it out without the market knowing. At least without the market knowing that day, right? Because they don't want all of the market makers, bidding them up as they're trying to buy or sell or whatever it is. And hold on here. Ninja Trader chart bugging. We could do that if you ever having problems. Anyways, you get the reports like the next day. So if somebody is really aggressively buying something, like, you can still see it eventually in the market. Oh, look, I could have gotten the other tick. That's okay. Like, I had gotten such a good run off of that I was like, let's just take it off. Because it was kind of at a resistance point for me. I'll see. Look, when's will work now.
Winston's mom says good morning, stupid boat.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna do that one again. Oh my gosh.
Winston's mom says good morning, stupid boat.
Stupid bot. Anyways, you know what? I'm a little ADHD today. I'm having a hard time keeping my focus when I'm talking. Okay, so anyways, with the whole dark pool thing, okay, is the thing in the order flow really to go and try and identify the largest order and use that to determine which way the market is going to go and everything? And I mean, the problem that I've always had with that kind of strategy is that by the time you realize that it really is like the big order coming through, it's too late. Yeah, you have to predict it. It was just like with here, was like we kind of knew that the possibility of buying coming in here was there. So I was already, once they weren't fighting me at 0.5, I was putting limits out there and doing everything I could to try and catch a lucky fill on the bid. And then, managing contracts and taking them off as it went up, right? So how did I do that? Was it because I knew that a big order was being transacted? Well, no, but I knew that they were probably going to do it. I knew that as you went back through my rundown of the charts, and I was saying, well, because of the way that they covered on Friday, it looks like we're going to get a reprieve here in the treasuries because the selling was largely due to the supply coming into the market and then all of the CTAs jumping on. And now the CTAs are taking profits. It's the start of a new contract. They're going to reverse, right? So I wasn't looking for a big order. What was I looking for? I was looking for how badly did the bids and offers want it. And it was very clear right away that offers were pulling out of the way and didn't want to take fills, and bids were holding firm and was very, you couldn't get fills. Nobody was hitting into them. So at that point, it was when I said, okay, so I should switch over to market orders, buy up into it, kind of, well, I use multiple contracts to average out my risk there and then let something run, right? What was I paying attention to? I was paying attention to what the market maker in my market was doing, right? So this is where I'm saying I wouldn't worry so much about the dark pools, okay? What I'm more interested in is what is the market maker in my market doing? Because that market maker, he can see that pool. He can see that other derivative market, right? And the decisions that he makes are based off of that. And so if I see price tick up 2 ticks at a time and hardly any volume because the offers are just pulling out of the way, they don't want to take fills, then that right away tells you what's going on, right? That the pressure, or rather the advantage, is very much on the buyer's side, and the sellers, so much so that the sellers want to just out of the way. That's why I'm looking at it like that. Does that make sense? I don't know if you guys were even still cared, but that's why I wouldn't worry so much about the dark pools. Machine gun seller hitting where? Let's see that. I guess another thing that I could say is that this is where, again, you want to know what's going on, right? You don't want to rely on being able to see a big guy to know what the big guy is likely to do. You want to know what the big guy is likely to do based off of the macroeconomics and the strategies that they use, and then front run them, Oh, well, they're going to take off their shorts. There's going to be buying today. Good. You get in before you see them. Get in before you see them. I want to be the big guy. Okay, so how can you be the big guy if you're just looking at big guys to make your decisions, right? Then when you become the big guy, how are you going to do that? Because everybody's looking to you to make the decisions, right? And then you are the big guy, and you move the market, and there be inefficiency, right? So everybody thinks being the big guy is the advantage. This is the paradigm shift that I've had. Okay, it used to be being the big guy is easy because you can move the market in your favor. No, moving the market in your favor for a big guy makes it harder for you. They don't want to move the market. The net impact, they're buying it up and then they sell it up. The net impact is that it actually will sell more than when they buy. And so they'll lose money on that trade if it's just their impact. They want to reduce their impact. They want frictionless trading. Right? So what we can do is we can take advantage of that inefficiency, because for us, trade is essentially frictionless, right? So if we know what they're going to do and we take the same trade as they start it, then you can just be in and you can let their friction move the market up. And you're basically taking that inefficiency from execution. That's where we're making our money, or at least on that last trade. That's how we're doing it, right? And how are we able to do that? Because we know what the big guy is going to do. If we were the big guy, we would be able to do it because we know the larger economic framework. We know the decisions that they're going to make, right? Without having to see them actually executing it, right? We're independent. We can do that analysis ourselves. So we don't need them to tell us that they're going to buy it because we know that they're going to buy it before they do it. Not being the big guy is like the only advantage of not being the big guy, if you know what I mean. Well, I don't know. Like when you look at, I think that to some extent the big guys envy you guys. So what is the advantage to being the big guy? Okay, because we all think that it is the execution impact. That if you buy, then everybody else is going to buy, and that's going to push the trade in your favor. Execution impact, it's an inefficiency. It hurts their strategies. The advantage to being the big guy is the information that you have available to you, right? You can see everything about every market and their correlations in real time quickly because you have this huge data platform that has been built over decades by thousands of people to give you the most efficient, up-to-date information. And you as a retail trader do not have access to that information, and you're at a huge disadvantage on that front, right? So how do we make up for that? That's when you want to watch the market. That's when we can come out and we can say, okay, I know that probably the big guys are going to be covering some shorts and that we're going to see some relief in the treasuries. Well, there was a big move there. Do we get some news? Okay. Okay, so the reason that the market just moved there is because Fed's Boehner commented directly on the volatility in the treasury market. He said a bunch of stuff there. That's why it looks like this is kind of like coming back here. That was explosive. Yeah, well, I think that the trade is over, right? Like, I think we took the thing, we should have stayed in there and we could have gotten like way more out of that. But now that it's gone up, you know, that was kind of the news. I say the trade is over. And yes, Kyle, that's exactly it. They have information on an information asymmetry market, but they have inefficiency of execution. Exactly it. And see, the mistake that I think we've always made as retail traders is that we think that their inefficient execution is an advantage to them, right? Think about what's going on Wall Street Bets. Everybody wants to follow the big guy. Oh, really? You couldn't find me today? That's weird. That sucks. It didn't show up in your subscriptions even, really. Well, oh, you're right. It's not even showing my live stream. Been shadow banned again. That's okay. We still get 26 viewers with even with that, so that's fine by me. And when it's single videos, it doesn't have a problem. So you would think that having it happen one last time that it would not be a problem, but okay, how do you get more information if you are a big guy? So let me give you an example. At Goldman Sachs, they have something called SecDB. I can tell you about this because they publish information about it. They talk about it a lot. If they ever do a public, like, if one of the tech guys is doing a public talk, it's usually about SecDB and the challenges that they've had with SecDB. Okay. What is SecDB? SecDB, Securities DB, is an object database. Okay. So normally a database is like rows and columns, right? You've got this table and you say each row is a new entry and it has all of these properties. And then this particular property might correlate to a field in another table. And then you can take those two tables and join them together and combine the information. Okay. And that is a, more traditional, I forget what, relational database. That is a relational database. An object database is we have objects, and an object could have these properties, and an object could point to another object, but they're not like tables of objects. It's just it's still like a network. It's like you'll have this, so you'll have this object. Well, let's make some space for us here and make it black, maybe. Yeah. So you'll have this object right here called ZN. And ZN will point to this other object, which is the interest rate. Okay. And then you'll have this other object over here, which is Goog. Right? And Google will have this formula in it that will say, I own this debt and these assets, and the value of those assets changes based on what the interest rate is. Right? It's actually, which I guess I should do it the other way, huh? There we go. Right? These are referencing this. So, in this database, they go in and they say, okay, the value of the treasury changed. That makes the interest rate this. And then all of these other ones, it's just like it cascades down the chain. And so you can make this one change. And there can even be circular references. Right? There can even be circular references. It goes around in a circle, so they can go in and they can say, okay, the interest rate changed, that changes Google, that changes this, that changes this. And so they can look at one change in the whole network and update the value of everything else in their network to determine what the value of an asset should be. So particularly for stocks, that's what I dealt with for stocks. You go in your market making an individual market for a particular stock, right? They have everything that affects the value of that company that you could possibly look at. They have in there a model that values the company based on that information. That's like quantitative of correlations, yeah. So they have all of these valuation models, and they're able to use the market data to immediately update all of their models to get an estimate for the whole market of what those things should be. Right? So this is where I say, like, they have information that you don't, okay? Like for you as a retail trader, how can you go in and say, based on the change in the US dollar, this is what the net impact it should have on the US Treasury? And maybe you could go and you could do that one. But then can you also go in and say, okay, based on the value of the dollar and based on the value of the S&P 500, this is what it should be. And you can keep adding that. Okay, and the value of the other treasuries and the direction that the yield curve is going and commodities and like literally everything in the market. And then can you determine the value of something like that, right? And that's where it gets to like you as a retail trader can't do that. Okay. I could build a model that models those one thing. Okay. But it took them like 10 years just to build the technology for the database to do this, let alone all of the models that they have people working on 24/7 and keeping up to date and getting better and better and better. That's what you as a retail trader can't do. Asymmetry of information. They can determine what the value of something is so much faster. So how do we overcome that disadvantage? It is a disadvantage. Well, we can watch the level 2 and see how their market making robots are reacting at the time. That's the best that we can do, right? Now they may know that a trade is available that we don't, right? They might know that a trade is available that we don't know about. And then we're just cut out. But every once in a while, there's a situation where it's a big deal, like this treasury thing that happened last week, right? And when we get those opportunities, then we can use the execution inefficiency to our advantage. Coin integration certainly is in their formula basket to calculate that, probably for sure. I'm told that I ran across a thing and it was saying that there was like they showed like 5 different ways that they tried trading a pair like that. Interesting. Kind of suggests to me that co-integration might be a place where so here's something that I'm noticing is that on the micro ES there's definitely people trying to like keep it in line with the ES, but like the volume doesn't match up. And so there are some edges that are already arbitraged away on the ES that I don't think are arbitraged away on the MES. They might be really small. Oh yeah, I wish I could remember where it was from. It wasn't a conversation. It was just me browsing. I came across a presentation that it was like a PDF slide that somebody had shown where they had shown multiple ways of trading two correlated assets. They're like, here's correlation, the co-integration approach, and then there was like 3 other ways. They were a little bit more generalized. They weren't like mathematical. Well, I guess the E-mini decided that they really liked what the Fed speaker said. Let's see if they get stuck here at 55. MicroStrategy buys another 328 Bitcoin. Oh dear. My Bitcoin not even popping up. He's broken. Oh well. Oh, my robots have been taking some trades. Huh. Well, that's interesting. And what about Gabby? Oh, yeah, she took it and made money. She only take one? Gabby! Oh, I didn't watch Attack on Titan yesterday. Totally forgot about that. Oh, Ninja Trader. So like all of my charts are running, but I can't do anything. No, that's not where I got. Well, maybe it is where I got the name from, Gabby. I used Gabby because it was kind of based on gapping behavior, so that's why I called it Gabby. Did you hear that like Attack on Titan is actually like the most popular streaming show in the US right now? Which is kind of weird because like watching Attack on Titan like one episode at a time and only 20-minute episodes is really frustrating. It's like it gets good and then that's the end of the episode. You're like, no, why? Why is it over? Why don't I just sit and not look at anything and then binge it all at once? Maybe. Crypto roars back as city sees imminent tipping point in global trade. You know what? They are really pushing the crypto this morning, don't you think? Well, I'm not particularly feeling good. And you notice I'm having a hard time forming complete sentences? I got my trade. I got out of it way too early. Look at all that volume there, man. That is like, okay, we're done. We're done. So I'm wondering if I should try and kill it or not. Well, it seems like using the minimum here has been going well for that particular robot. So the max one hasn't been taking any trades. That's interesting. Has something like Tesla happened before? What do you mean by like Tesla? Like the percentage of gain that it's had this year? Yes, it has happened before. Like Bitcoin? No. Nothing like that has ever happened before. I was unable to find an instance where an asset went up 1,000% in 3 months and wasn't in a bubble. So I searched. I actually spent like a whole afternoon searching, trying to find a historical stock that was comparable, and I couldn't find it. It's just going to drive me nuts. I'm just going to kill it. Because I don't want it to be doing that sort of stuff when we get going. I might need to rebuild my workspace. Tesla stock, everybody says it's overvalued and everybody knows this and just jumps into it. Well, the thing you got to remember with something being overvalued is that how does something become overvalued? Well, this is the thing that Mr. Soros takes advantage of, right? He calls it reflexivity, which is there's a feedback loop in the market that causes this thing to happen. So as long as that feedback loop exists and is functioning, it can continue. So that's why it's really hard to short a bubble and make money off of it. %80 of participants lose money in a bubble. And I don't think that it's the short sellers that end up being the profitable ones out of that whole equation. No, I know. I'm just looking for information while still having a conversation. Well, I was like, well, what was the topic that we were even on? I don't even remember anymore. You see how ADHD I am today, guys? Okay. Oh, I think this is so silly. Look, the media, there is media, particularly Zero Hedge. They are actively trying to pump it today. We are literally right where we were last week for most of the week. We actually, there was at one point we're at 5,300. We've come back. We're only at 50. And they're all like, oh, this could be a global turning point. I really hope not. Because I tell you what, if Bitcoin becomes what they want it to become, it will be bad. Will be very bad. Under 40. Yeah, I mean, they were like right on the edge, man. But it didn't go. And like they're saying, it looks like MicroStar bought more. Where you look at it, I'm in Utah. Our FANG stocks undervalued, huh? Asks Patrick Rooney. I wonder where he's getting that one. I wonder where he's getting that one from. Yeah, when I was saying, oh, like it's sitting right on the edge, but then it didn't do it. But Luke was saying, I know of buyers who paid $64K when it was $50K because they couldn't buy it from somewhere else. The insanity seems to have no limits. Man, you're so concerned about people moving to Utah. He didn't even say he's thinking about moving. Okay, let's back to 07.5, which is where I got out. You think that there could be another move up? Well, I think we should wait and let the equities do their thing first. It's the crickets all over again. Oh, you were wondering on the time zone? Yeah, well, for me, it's early, man. I can't imagine living in California and trying to trade the treasuries. Oh, man. But you know what? Bots, he wakes up way early. He wakes up at like 3 or 4 in the morning so that he can trade like the later end of the European session because he's had a lot of success with it. 40-point rally in the S&P 500 will bring us back to where the market was 12 minutes before Friday's ugly close. Yes. I still read this as just sideways. It's just okay action. But you know, there's all these single prints up in here, like 3878 and 3903. And with rates retreating, I think that the equities are going to be pretty bullish. Now I wake up at 5 because I'm on the West Coast. Oh man, this is so bad. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. when I lived in the Midwest. Oh wait, really? I mean, I wake up early and it's hard. It's difficult. Oh, did I leave these with positions on? Well, this one right here. This position needs to be closed. I guess we'll just close all of them. Okay. I need to turn off both of the J's, I guess. Huh. Oh, maybe it's... No, I don't know why that one's still on there. Yeah. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay. Well, they're kind of just chomping at the bit, aren't they? Pressing overnight high. Yeah, well, and we're pressing some of the levels from Friday, right? Okay. Good. Okay, so actually quite a bit of trade there around the 61 area. Whew, okay, so there's 1,000 lot there at 38.65. That's looks like maybe giving them a bit of trouble. It's not there anymore. So now that he's gone, okay. Still a lot of volume at 38.64. Not too much trouble pushing up though when they do it, right? It looks like pretty healthy demand right now. Yeah, and then just, every little push is a little higher, a little higher. Okay, there's still some big orders there in 65. Oh, you know what? I'm just realizing now. I was like, oh yeah, I have another version of Jake to test today. Are you covering GameStop today? I mean, I haven't looked at it. Should we pull it up? I kind of forgot about that whole thing from late last week. No, it's actually doing not bad. It's doing not bad. I still think that things aren't that the trade is over, but it's not bad. Okay, now where was the spots that I was looking for again? Oh, we're not even close. There might be some drama along the way though, huh? It's not doing good yet. Well, so like where they settled at in the aftermarket, a little bit below 100, and then they opened in the pre-market a little bit above 100, and so far they've been buying into the open. Tesla is really where I'm wondering. Ooh, okay. Oh, did I miss it already? Okay. Well, there's still some decent absorption on offers, but treasuries continue to look bid. We really could have taken that 07.5 again if we wanted to. Tesla, well, Tesla is 2.5% right now. And ARK is up 3%, so it looks like that whole trade is surviving for now. And I guess if the rates come back, that could definitely help them, right? Okay. Still that 62 area, 61, 6. I guess it was 61 before, now it's 62, but maybe they'll move to the other side of this profile to 65. Okay, well, we got filled there, so now they really would have to like. I'm gonna give this the maximum room because I think that this could just really run. So. Oh, I'm going to switch, if it's okay with you guys, I'm going to switch this to TSLA. We've still got GameStop over there on the left. So you can see GameStop is up 6%. But I'm more interested in what Tesla's doing. So they've opened up in the aftermarket, but at the moment they kind of look pointed down. Okay. Apple up 2%? Really? Oh, yeah, you're right. How are they doing that? Well, I guess they've been hammered by the rates, and with the rates kind of cooling off a little bit. Bank of America ML's measure of sell-side sentiment is close to registering its first quote-unquote sell signal in over a decade. Really? Just 1 point away from a sell signal. That's interesting. I have no clue what that is, though. Oh, that's XOM is ExxonMobil? I feel like I should be in oil right now. I'm kind of wondering if I should just, like, jump into the strength or what. Your Green New Deal play. That just seems like oil is when looking for hedges against inflation, and I thought gold and silver, but it really looks like oil is the better play. Okay, so they're right back up to the highs. That dump that we had, it was a little unusual, to be honest. It was just a very quick and short little comeback, almost looking like news, but okay, so there's new highs. I hope that Ace is still long. Because I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we touched 3,900 today. Like, that's one spot when I was looking back, that was one potential location. It seems awfully far away, but given the situation in context, I don't think it's unreasonable at all. Oh, we got PMI today? I didn't even... Oh, maybe they did. I think they're still waiting on the number. 58.6 versus 58.5. So in line. Just slightly a little better. Okay. Let's say that volume is pretty healthy today, yeah? Across the board, too. I mean, we had some good movement in the Treasury. Ended up with that. I mean, Treasury would have been, just okay if it wasn't for that Baynard news. And then, whoosh. Then equities, the amount of volume overall, I think, has been pretty strong. It's interesting that my min strategy was doing really well before, but now that we're open, my max has been doing better than the min did, and the min has lost a little bit, given back some. So that doesn't help me determine which of those algorithms I should really use. And then there was I didn't use J2. I have J2. I didn't set him up. Feeling sleepy now, man. $38.70. Yeah, there was a little bit of volume at 70 and a half. But they're through that easily. Dollar slipping? A few cents. Dollar still looks pretty constrained. Do I have this one set up to be... I think that mine only updates every 5 minutes, so... See here in a minute what its reading is. I mean, it would make sense. Oh, look, the treasury's pushed down there a little bit below the 70. Actually, ooh. The 5-year hit back hard. And back to the 65 area of the profile, huh? Now we get more numbers. We get ISM numbers at the top of the hour. Those are usually a lot more important, right? Well, for the numbers at the top of the hour, looking ISM manufacturing PMI to be 58.8. I'm thinking back on this and I'm like, well, okay, so I moved my stop like way down and I'm like, what would have to happen for that to turn into a bad trade? And it's like, we would need to see like a full on reversal. What are the chances of that actually happening? I think it's very, very low. But then I'm like, why am I so confident? Like, is it that I'm so I'm second guessing myself even as I think about it. But then I'm like, no, that's ridiculous. There's no way. It would something really bad would have to happen for it to flip back like that. Okay. So they're kind of starting to nibble at the edge there again. But will it be slippery through this 69 area again? I mean, I didn't... You know what? This is why we're shadow banned. You're sleepy? You know what? I just... Yeah. I feel like falling asleep right now for some reason. It's not like I went to bed at a bedtime or anything. Okay, so not quite as slick around 69 as it was before. I guess when it was before, they didn't go right through it, but I kind of thought that maybe it would just cap, but it didn't. Apple going again. Wow. So you see Tesla there struggled a little bit at the beginning, but it's kind of going right now. Oh, that's what I need right there. Fisher Price, My Home Office. And it's a little computer. Yes, sir. Look at that. But I didn't have a mouse. Oh, I need a mouse that Asher's favorite thing to do now is to sneak into the office when I'm not here and move the mouse and click things. Asher being my baby, for those of you that are new. Probably not so many new people today, though. Yeah, only 30 viewers. So we get the 30 viewers that we always get, and then there's about 20 that YouTube will send us, but today apparently we're shadow banned. So My Home Office comes with an energy drink and a pack of smokes. Ah. Oh, there's a new high. Not quite. Almost. No, I really thought that when they would touch 72 that it would just go. But apparently people are going to have... How do you know you're shadow banned? So if I come to YouTube and I search Speculator Seth, the live stream does not appear. So the live stream, so you can still find me, but the live stream is shadow banned. Even if I come here, it doesn't show me. That's okay. They'll review it and we'll be back. There's too many no words. I don't know what happened. What caused it? I mean, the thing is when it happened on the earthquake stream and that kind of kneecapped the channel at a critical time. But then I go back and I look at it and I was like, actually, it didn't matter. Like it really sucked, but it didn't matter because we keep making good content. And it was like, on TikTok. So on TikTok, I was getting really frustrated. I was like, I feel like I'm putting good content out there and I'm putting a lot of information that nobody else on TikTok is saying and would really help people out, but nobody watches. And then I just happened to have one TikTok that randomly took off. And now I get way more views on the videos and I get lots of likes and comments on those. And it's like, oh, okay. It doesn't matter. You just keep going and eventually it works out. Y'all was talking about alphabet stuff the other way. I'm surprised you thought, nah, we're always stick to facts and we don't say hateful things. Oh my gosh, wait. Is the sound gonna come back into the right ear here? Nope, it's oh wait, this way? A little bit. I can hear it. Yeah, it's coming back a little. Oh, that's so weird. So yesterday I took the headphones apart to see what was wrong, and I couldn't figure it out. But it's like one of the wires is just tilted the wrong way. You act like there's room for nuance. Well, we haven't talked about anything that... I mean, I dissed Joe Biden. I guess that's... Trust me, eventually, I mark my words. I know what I'm about to say is going to sound really crazy, but by the end of Joe Biden's term, criticizing him will be totally mainstream. Oh, you have the wrong viewpoint on Biden's smash. Right. It's... Said on Facebook. I know. Well, so I posted on Facebook. You got to realize that these headphones, I am very sentimental about them because I bought them when I was in New York. I basically only ate at Subway for a month and saved the extra money and buy the headphones. That's how I did it. And at the time, so it used to be in the DJ world, an okay, higher than expected. Whoa. Okay, I should probably be getting out, but I'm gonna hold it. Just get wire. Nah, I'm not gonna get wireless ones. I could get wireless ones, but this is just more expensive. They have ones that are supposed to have a flatter response, so I went and I got some of those. But at the moment, it's fixed. It fixed because I tilted my head this way. It fixed it. So it must be one of those connections that's not quite as good as it appears. I could try just soldering them all in and seeing what happens, but when I get the other headphones in, with the flatter response ones, then I will try it. I'll take another look at it. His headphones aren't actually connected. He wears them to block outside sounds. Well, that is a big part of why I use the ones that I do, yes. That, and you know what? Having worn these for so long, I listen. So, like, I got these other ones from Scarlett, and it's not like they're awful headphones, but they are just not even half as clear, especially in the low end. The low end is just like a bassy, muddy mess. Okay, so I did the right thing there. So that one was the ISM number came out and it was good. And so I think a lot of profit taking happened there, but then I said, no, like the situation, I still think it's gonna go. So now 78 is one spot, right? 78 is one spot. Next spot is 3,900. Do you think I could hold it to 3,900? I mean, I think it's totally doable today. I think that I might take longer than this stream, though. So I say it's still only 8 o'clock. I say let's hold it for 90 minutes and see what happens. Oh my gosh, they just magically start. But remember, we did that the other day, and it magically started working, and then it magically stopped working. So there's all these connections over in this ear, and I bet you that's what's causing it. So there's this one wire that's just like not quite connected. Problem though is that the little board in there's not a lot of room for error on that. Like when I was looking at it, was kind of like, how did they do that? So somebody must have soldered it by hand? I don't know. I'd be impressed if you could hold your long from 78 to 80. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at this single print, so I'm sure that's why you're saying that, right? But there was another single print earlier from the start of that move, just above 3,900. So that's why I'm saying. Oh, maybe you're not saying that. Well, is Ace still in? Yeah, he must be. He said 20 points since before open, so he must be. I really think we can hold it to 3,900. I think it not only is it the start of single prints, so if we're going to retrace that move from Thursday, that's where I would expect us to go to. But it was a play period of high volume up there as well, and it's well within the VIX targets and everything else, and we have like a really bullish setup. So I really think the 3,900 is extremely likely. Still in small, yeah. Certainly. I mean, I did the same thing like I did. I think I took 3 contracts on this overall, right? Like I took 2, and then I took the 2 points, and then I took the 2. Actually, it was the 4 points. I took the 4 points, and then I took the 4 points again. And now I'm just gonna let this one ride because I'm sitting here like it would really have to reverse hard. Something really bad would have to happen. Don't knock on wood, right? I shouldn't jinx it, but it sure seems like this is an easy call today. I know, right? And I caught the long on the treasury too, and caught 250 off of that. On this one over here, I wish that I had jumped into it earlier, but then after that happened, I was able to just scalp a few ticks here and there, and I was really happy with how I pulled it off. Was really happy with how I pulled it off. The management of that trade over here was really good. China's soy meal futures slid nearly 5% in their sharpest decline in 8 years on Friday as investors took profit and new African swine fever outbreaks stirred concerns over demand. You gonna make my bacon expensive? Oh, that's a pretty big distribution up there at 77. Yeah, scenario 1 target is still 38.80. Yes, from futures trader 71. That's exactly where I would expect him to have it, actually. There's definitely going to be some people taking profits there, but let's come back. Okay, so VIX target 1 is actually 89. We'll tweet about this one. And on that note, what's Sumo doing today? Sumo. Okay, so Sumo's up, but not crazy. 2%. Almost got out on that, or that pullback. Gotcha, yeah, because you got the mute trail in it. They both took a short there. That's interesting. Well, they sure are catching it. Both of them are. Villeroy, ECB can and must react to any undue tightening. So buy even less bonds then? Is that what? Whoa, why is Rasmussen retweeting Rich the People's Pundit embarrassed? If the New York Times and CNN cannot seem to poll an election correctly, why on earth would we expect them to give us an accurate approval ratings, issue sentiment, etc.? Mm-hmm. You know, that's something that we didn't really look at, was how accurate certain polls were and everything after the election. We should go back and look at that. New York Times has been putting out a number of stories lately, actually, that seem kind of like against the grain. Today, why is big tech blocking N95 mask sales? Oh, Goldman Sachs asset management co-head Eric Lane to leave firm. Oh. See, one of the GSAM guys, I guess that's not like a huge change to their trading though. So don't know if that affects the rest of us. I'm interested to know where he goes though. Well, they're basing out here for sure. There's definitely a distribution going on in the 3878 area. Wait, Beyond Meat CFO Mark Nelson to retire? What? You know what? MSTR is up a little bit today, but it's like not a ton. They're still kind of suffering from that gap. But Tesla's looking like so 700 is where there's been a lot of like defense played in Tesla, right? So coming back into that area is interesting. We're about to enter the counter trend period. Man, AJ just keeps getting it over and over and over again. All of those are up. Like these, if they were trading E-minis and not micros, these would all be up over $1,000. That's almost 3,000. And I didn't even use my better version of J. Well, theoretically better version. We backtested and it was better, but I don't know if it's really how that will play out in reality. Hello, Keller. You're a little late today. We're like, where's that Keller? He's slacking again. Oh, you see, it had the front. Yeah, because YouTube is lame and made me search for you to find the stream. Yep. I tell you what, man. So, number one, you should be subscribed. Number two, you should click the bell icon and set your preferences so that you get notifications for my channel. And number three, you should bookmark the live stream URL that is in the video description. Because it's not the first time this has happened where. Yeah, I don't know if it's like you get reported for a certain something or whatever. I think that we're within the boundaries of YouTube's terms of service and we're fine. But when what will happen is the algorithm will say, oh, based on the algorithm, we think maybe something's going on here. So we're not going to show your live stream and search until that's over. It has happened to me many times, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so we're getting another little bit of a bull run here. I was like, well, we're going into the counter trend period, so maybe we'll just keep going sideways here. Nope, they're ready to go, apparently. Gab hacked. Group promises goldmine info on militias, neo-Nazis, and QAnon. Oh, well, thank you. Good. Because I hate all of those people on Gab. Like, I would like a Twitter that values freedom of speech, but most of the people that post on Gab are idiots. Let's see here what you got here, John. You're looking at single prints that we've left behind. Well, there is one at 85, but there's one at 3905, right? Wait, where is it? Exactly. Where exactly is it? Oh, I don't actually have these spots as single prints. But 3903 and a quarter. Single prints all the way up to 3903. Even though you're subscribed and everything. Yeah, it's like, so what happens is when you get shadow banned, you won't show up in search. Your live streams won't show up in search. Kind of annoying. But like I said, like it's happened before, and my understanding is that it just stays in that state until a human reviews it. Okay. On what time frame are you looking? On the 30-minute chart. So when I'm looking at the 30-minute chart and I'm going back to that move on Thursday, then I see single prints at 39.03. If I come over here, show you right to there. So that's where I'm saying I will draw a little pic. I will make a little line. Labrador, maybe? No, that's not what I wanted. There we go. 39.03 and a quarter. Oh, they took a loss there. Interesting. Ooh, that loss hurt them too. Is it true that the heat map is a visual representation of what the DOM is showing? Well, so so what you see here, it is what you're seeing is like the brighter areas means that there was more on the level 2 in that location. So I suppose you could say, yeah, it's a visual representation of what the DOM is showing. But the problem with a chart is that you got to remember that the charts have to quantize. So what do I mean by quantize? So like if quantization in music is like, when you actually look at it, we have these waves like this, right? But music can't do that. Our formats can't do that. So they're actually like these little squares like this, right? And they try to approximate it. And then there is, what do we call it? Dithering. So dithering says, well, we know that there's kind of like there. So here, even though it wasn't to get to that level, we'll add some here and some here to kind of, and that noise will kind of make it like your ears hear that. Okay, cool. So it's the same thing on a chart, right? On a chart, you'll get a candlestick like this, and it might have done this and come back, and or maybe it could have just done this and come back and that was it. Like there's no way to know, right? Anything could have happened inside of this candle that you can't see, right? And it's the same thing with the level 2. The level 2 at any point could have been different during that time period, but it only shows you what it was at the close. And so if we tick through an area, like we start hitting into 11.5 and those pull and we tick up on very little volume and we do it at 12 and we'll do it at 12.5, like does the chart here actively show that? Well, I mean, you'll kind of see that it went through and that those areas will be dark, but it doesn't really highlight it to you very well. So that's why I feel that even though those heat maps are cool and nice and useful and everything, I don't think that it gives you everything that actively watching the DOM and seeing every order come through does. If this was changed so that every change was a different part, then you would actually see everything, but then it would be too long, it would move too fast, so that wouldn't make any sense. But That's the thing. I feel that, and retail order flow readers care about these big orders too much. So like, there's one at 38.88 right now. Is it really going to matter? I really think, especially over in the treasury, pulls matter more. Well, pulls are more indicative of where price is going to go. What are you looking at here? I have 3906.50. Oh, okay. 06.50. Where do you get 06? I don't know where you get that from. From 25th? 10:30 a.m., which would be 8:30 my time. Huh. Well, that, again, is probably a quantization error. But anyways. So something else you can get from this is that when you are writing algorithms and you say, okay, I want to, use these things, and you put them all in, I have found that the quantization error is enough that it kind of throws your indicator off. So you either need something that adjusts for that, which some of Euler's indicators do account for quantization, or you need to do something that's not quantized, like, one tick charts. In relative terms, they've looked cheap, and he is absolutely right to do what he's done. L. Ram says about Warren Buffett's stock buyback, watch him discuss Buffett's 2021 annual letter and fears over rising inflation. Well, we did get into the 80s area. There's still like 89 above us is the VIX target, but so, I should point out here as well that my robots, or I don't need to point it out, you guys don't care, but I'm noticing that my volume imbalance was in favor of shorts all the way through that up move based on that indicator. So this is going back to, well, it's not a big enough hit to the max. This kind of goes back to where seems to me that, well, actually J2 would probably fix that problem, but so it seems to me that like which way you take the volume imbalance, the level 2 imbalance, is inconsistent to some extent. Well, 8:30, I think it's time for me to take my break. So I'm going to go take a break and I'll be right back. All right, guys? Well, that baby thought he was coming in here. But no, it's time for them to go to school. Well, it's definitely quieted down up here, but again, still kind of in counter trend period. So, should just relax here. I guess they're just a little bit short of the volatility target. I'm interested to see what we're going to see happen if we get another move up. Yeah, not much going on at the moment. Even Twitter is like, my Twitter is not showing many updates. Yeah, those losses there in J hurt big time. Can Tesla stick above 700? Well, at the moment, I think I'm going to say yes. Oh, okay. So see, you are showing it a little different from me. So the reason why the numbers that we're doing are different is because those days from before, I'm counting these right here. I'm counting these ones right here. So that's why I said 3903. That's the difference. Whereas yours says that's a different session, so. Becoming up 12%? What is it at now? Oh, come on. There's still below. Still below 5,000. That's 12%. 47 to, I guess it is. Dogecoin is up 10%. Oh my gosh. So silly. This is so silly. Let's go to my watch list here. Oh, and Garlic Coin is up again. Garlic Coin is up 13% in the past 24 hours. Well, Dogecoin is only up 6% in the past 24 hours. You say those are just closed / broken. Where? I don't know. And no. There's nothing after that point where that price is touched. Well, I guess you're saying that it was broken by this bar. Whatever. I mean, technically, this spot was caught by this spot, but I'm just saying, I don't think of it that way. What I think of it as, this was a big down move on Thursday. Where was the last, distribution zone? For all practical purposes, it's the same thing, but few points. We'll see. I'm going to bet that if we do get up to that area, that they're probably going to go to the other side of that profile too. So, if this really ends up being a gangbusters day, it could get all the way up to 38.19, which seems a little bit too far, but is still within the realm of possibility, right? Anyways, back to looking at big. Oh, has Tether been all over the place? That's interesting. Market cap has been. They still haven't been printing. Have they printed today? Let's go and check the Buckcoin guys, see what they got to say. Okay, they're making fun of the city report. How Bitcoin's vast energy use could burst its bubble. Okay. And he buys more. Yeah, I'm sure that that's part of what's going on. The leaker hacker providing the emails is extorting Tether for Bitcoin, supposedly. Yeah, that alone makes me skeptical about that whole thing. Why is Bitcoin going back up? Why not? Okay, there's another new high to 38.90. Talking about Michael Saylor here. Mm-hmm. They're all very, very conflicted about whether or not the leaker on Tether is for real or not. I'm really skeptical as well. He hasn't posted anything that's like definitive proof. I'm really curious to see how CNN primetime would cover a move to impeach Kumo. I think it could be coming. Oh, Adam Tooze has some interesting reflections on the famous 1994 Bond massacre and argues that it doesn't really prove the existence of Bond vigilantes. Okay. OCGN, is that a stock ticker? Ooh, it's... Okay, I'll be reading that one later. Oh, I see. I see what's going on here. Paul Krugman wants to prove that bond vigilantes don't exist because he wants to say that we can issue as much debt as we want and it won't affect rates. Well, that's where you're wrong, Paul. That's where you're wrong, kiddo. It seems very clear to me it's not bond vigilantes. It's there's just not enough people to buy all of the debt that you're putting out. Trump suggests Biden followed his approach in Khashoggi killing, calls incident unfortunate. Yeah, there you go. I don't know if he's taking the same approach because Donald Trump kind of approach was like, we're not even going to say anything about it. Whereas Biden is at least saying, well, we know what you did, but he's not actually doing anything about it. So it's different, but does it matter that it's different? I don't know. All Apple US stores are open as of today for the first time since March 2020, says Apple. On a more serious note, Treasury bills have only traded at negative yields twice before, December 2008 and March 2020. This is a sign of historically severe shortage of high-quality short-term assets. Not a sustainable situation by any means, I think. California Teachers Union boss caught bringing daughter to a private in-person preschool. Oh, can you believe these people? Could you believe you would be preventing schools from opening, but you're sending your own kids to an in-person school? Well, I guess he would justify it by saying it's preschool. My child needs to learn to be around people at this critical age. Yeah. Fair. See, they're all pumping it. Bitcoin rebounds to 49,000 as City Report gets traction. I don't think that he's trying to pump it per se, so much as like that they know that if they tweet about Bitcoin that they'll get a lot of attention. But it was at 5,000 on Friday. Come on. I don't get it. Well, Thursday night, Friday. Oh, it's only been a price that they only visited 2 days ago. What? Not a single 5-minute red candle yet. Yeah, actually, if we come back and look at like a 5-minute chart, it did do a pivot high. It did do a pivot high. There was a close below the previous bar's low. But like as soon as it formed that pivot high, it went higher. So a bug sub? What's that? Oh, a big sub. Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much. A big sub. I didn't know that YouTube had a bug feature though, so you had me a little concerned there for a second. I was like, is that a bad thing? As the VIX goes lower today, the delta of existing SPX puts goes down, which means that SPX put dealers must buy the underlying index futures to get back delta neutral, which matches today's price action in ES. Okay, cool. Which probably puts us at, again, 3,900. I was just thinking, like, I mean, I don't know if Bitcoin is actually like going to take off again and get above 60K. It would be an awfully strong move to materialize if that were to happen, and I'm kind of questioning where more big buyers are. But if it does, I sure hope that the garlic coin goes and hits 4 cents. That would be awesome. I'm stuck in bronze, but I feel like I don't deserve it. That's funny. Overwatch. I'm reading Reddit here. This is reading. I shouldn't be reading. I should have it on the Twitters. Nation's monster truck rally organizers vow to crush 100% electric cars by 2030, tweets The Onion. Okay, that one's funny. Oh, you got me there, Onion. Okay. Oh, man. Do you trade ES future? I trade micros, and I'm not even trading them live right now, to be honest. I sure should have, though, because today has been great. I've been getting more involved in the 10 years lately. I originally started on 10 years and then kind of moved away from them during the pandemic. And now I'm kind of like, there's good stuff going on. I want to be in the 10 year. So. Just in ex-French President Nicolas Sarkozy receives his sentence. He's been sentenced to the next ECB presidency. Is that how it works? And Democrats demand the firing of the Senate parliamentarian over minimum wage mess. Uh-huh. Oh, the rules aren't working in our favor. Let's just get rid of them. Dude, if they pass the minimum wage in that manner, it is going to be such a mess. The fallout would be... Whew. They're not going to do it, though. Because there's three kind of Democrat holdouts that kind of don't favor the minimum wage anyways. So you overrule it, they still won't be able to pass the bill. What's the actual issue with the parliamentarian rules? Okay, so the Senate has a rule that you can pass something via reconciliation if it is the budget and there aren't any significant changes to anything else in it, essentially. Probably should be a little bit more specific about what that means, but I think that that's like a sufficient enough explanation for you to understand. So they want to implement a minimum wage change in their bill. Well, that's something unrelated to the budget. And it would change the budget. Like they actually went through and did the math, and they said that they would make less money because people would get unemployed. The Congressional Budget Office did. So essentially, a minimum wage increase is not eligible for reconciliation, which means that they can't pass it with just a 50% majority. They have to get, they have to pass the filibuster and all that stuff. So that's why they want them to change the rule. So, well, not change the rule, but basically what they're saying is the parliamentarian, who is the person in the Senate that understands the rules and laws of the Senate and decides what is in order and what is not in order. There's like the lawyer for the Senate has ruled that it violates that rule, which is correct. That's obviously correct based off of the reading of the rule. So now they're saying, just overrule the parliamentarian and say that it's in order. Right? Which would be, that's where I'm like, this would be such a disaster, because you would basically be, undermining the rule of the Senate. I don't think that you want to take that step. Certainly not over a minimum wage. Something that I don't think is going to be good to the Democrats in the long run anyways. Like if they increase the minimum wage and then all of those Gen Z millennials that are at minimum wage just get their jobs cut, and then they would immediately know, oh, yeah, minimum wage is not what I thought it was. So... MicroStrategy purchased more Bitcoin to raise the enterprise software company's holdings to more than 4 billion. Yes, so this is where you sell against them, guys. I don't get it. You got the big guy to buy in. That's when you get out. You really think that there's other people willing to buy billions of dollars as dumb as Michael Saylor? I just don't think that there is. Crisis explodes at FC Barcelona again. Club raided by police. Spanish media report ex-president Josep Bartomeu and current CEO Oscar Grau. I don't know. How would you... Grau? Grau? Among those arrested. Probe continues over alleged social media smear campaign and corruption. Oh, thank you for mentioning the Yada thing. I only had 4 tickets on Yada this week, but I still was able to get 2 on one of my tickets, but I didn't get the third for the 10 cents. I was very disappointed. So we need, if you haven't started a Yada account, go and start a Yada account, use the code SPECULATORSETH, you put $25 in there. It's still your money, so and they give you tickets. So it's like free money. You sign up, we both get free money. So it's no reason not to do it. And everybody needs a savings account, and you get a better interest rate with this savings account. So go and do it so I can get another 2,000 tickets or whatever. We'll make a run at that Tesla Roadster or whatever. I really want the $1 million, but I've gone through and done the math on that, and the chances of you getting it are astronomically high. Sidney Bell's remaining Kraken cases thrown out by Supreme Court. Oh, didn't that happen last week? Source tells me now that Dems dropped the tax workaround to raise the minimum wage. There are no other proposals to get the wage hike into the COVID relief. For what it's worth, the standalone minimum wage hike bill is just the kind of popular legislation filibuster abolitionists tell me they want to ratchet up pressure. Do it. Do it. I hope you lose. Either way, it'll be entertaining, I guess. Well, Tesla moving higher as the rest of the index moves higher. Still got 30 minutes here. Yeah, so here's the thing. You are not going to get Manchin to eliminate the filibuster. I don't think Cienma will either. There's a third one that's going to do it. And like they think, oh, we're going to ratchet up the pressure on these 3 Democrats and they're going to get no. I think that it will make the situation for the rest of the Democrats worse. I think that it'll push those 3 people over to more of the Republican side. And then it will be like you really can't get anything done unless it is truly bipartisan. Maggie Haberman did a story on? Really? Well, he is definitely in trouble. Yeah. I'm surprised that people aren't calling for his... Well, so here's the thing that bothers me about this, okay? He made all of these policies that were very, very bad for them. Resulted in lots of deaths, many, many deaths in New York. It's responsible really for the United States bad numbers. Mostly come from those northeastern states in New York, where they basically let, forced old people back into the nursing homes and let it spread everywhere. So, and then they talk about how they bullied the media. That's like a real scandal. But then some women have come out and accused him of sexual misconduct, harassment, actually. And that's what he's getting in trouble for. Okay. The murder of millions of, well, it's not the murder, but I mean, being responsible for the deaths of, millions of elderly people. No big deal. I'm not saying that sexual harassment isn't a big deal either, but I'm just saying, like, the media has been playing cover for this guy for so long. It definitely looks like the dam is breaking. But I just hope that if it falls on him, that they still acknowledge the part that he played in the disastrous coronavirus response in the Northeast. The hottest new sitcom on streaming is Modern Family. Really? It's not really been around for 12 years. See, this is what we've been reduced to. It's a bullish day. There's no news. It's a no news bullish day. So when you get a move like this and it's like it keeps going and it's quiet, those are some of those slow, silent killers, you know? See why they're going short. The way that the book is formulated right now, they're going to be screwed over no matter what. I'm wondering if I just am going to have to go to... I think I am. I think I'm going to have to change... I just can't count because there's too many big orders up in here. It's flipped around. It should be that I should be going in the direction of it. I should be doing the min inverse. Who would call me? Who would call me at this time of day? Spam. Any of those shows like The Office with that weird filming technique they use annoy me. Oh yeah. Well, like when it was sitcoms and there was like an audience that laughs, and that kind of worked. But when the shows are like about awkward moments and there isn't the audience laughing, I just feel uncomfortable, like I just feel bad for the person that is making a fool of themselves. I don't think it's like The Office. I don't find The Office funny at all. Like watching What's His Bucket. This is so funny that people that like it really like it, and I just don't get the mindset that thinks that's funny, that thinks that the social embarrassment of somebody else is funny. Because I don't like Steve Urkel. Like that was the social embarrassment of Steve Urkel. That was funny. Okay. Did Gabby take it? No, why not? She didn't get filled. Sure glad that I have that sound. Oh wait, what did I just do? I clicked the wrong thing. Okay. Good deal. What did we get? 200. It's a good day. Made 230 on my treasury, and I made 200 on the E-mini, and 200 is a lot with a micro contract, right? I always say it's humorous but not funny. Yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I really wish that we would go back to shows that are funny because of how silly they are. Why is it that it's been so long since we had a show on TV that was popular and funny because of how silly it was? Like Mr. Bean or Monty Python's Flying Circus, Ones that are just super silly. That's what I want. Man, that Tesla, well, that must be an options being done here to buy Tesla down at those lows. I bet you that in the next 30 minutes that we're going to go higher, but that particular move was not in planned. I think that somebody from the ECB was talking at that time, and that's why it moved, but I'm not seeing it on Twitter, so. Check out Auntie Donna. Okay. Curb Your Enthusiasm. Now I've never watched that. Aussie sketch group. There's these people in Utah that did a sketch group that was really good. But then they left because they were working with a TV studio, and they went off on their own on YouTube, and they haven't really done a whole lot since then. And I kind of feel like that they're trying so hard to do big things that they're not just making the small things that would pick them up, and that they're like being impatient on that part. Oh, we're running the robot today? The robot vacuum is running. I'm like, what the heck? Can you hear it? Maybe just a little bit. Oh, and I lost the hearing out of this earpiece again. That's unfortunate. Zero Hedge says Goldman exodus accelerates. Well, so with GSAM, that one is a little different though. Oh, wait, what? Really? Whereas previously bankers would give at least one kidney to work at what, until recently, was the most admired investment bank on Wall Street. Lately, the flow of talent has completely reversed, and one day after Bloomberg reported that none other than boring old Walmart had poached Goldman's two top bankers in charge of its consumer banking division to join the retailer's financial tech startup. Eric Lane, the co-head of Goldman's $8 billion asset management business, is making a sudden exit from the firm. Even more striking, Lane is leaving the bank less than 6 months after taking over the firm's newly expanded asset management business along with Julian Salisbury, according to an internal memo seen by Bloomberg. The 25-year veteran... Oh yeah, no, I saw that. I remember when that... Okay. And a member of its most important decision-making body is expected to take a role at another investment firm, although it wasn't clear which one. And Goldman is up 3% today. I really think that their consumer banking business could be strong, but I wonder why those two guys left. Just like Marcus, which has been hampered with departures in recent months, and the clearest sign yet that higher rates are just a mirage, the asset management division is a critical focus of CEO DJ D. Sol. We're just talking about because he was the CEO was a DJ. I actually spoke with him one time about it. Who hopes to rake in more client assets to generate a steady stream of fee income for the bank. That, along with the consumer business, are two new strategic projects that the bank had hoped will grow fast enough for it to reduce its reliance on its traditional strengths in investment banking and trading. I don't know if their investment banking is that strong. It's always really been the trading. The equities trading is really good. And now, in an unexpected reversal, it's Goldman's two biggest bets on the future that are suddenly hemorrhaging top talent. One wonders if there's more turbulences below the Goldman surface than the bank's impressive recent earnings would suggest. I do have to wonder. Too bad I don't see those guys. Too bad we're not working downtown and I see them at lunch from time to time. Then I could ask them, why are these people leaving? They would tell me. I'd be like, oh, maybe I should do something. Yeah. Bitcoin consumes a similar amount of power to the Netherlands. And it's half of all data centers worldwide power yet. This is crazy. But Larry's Tesla is still going. But the E-Mini's still struggling. I bet you that by the end it will go, but... And these robots caught one finally. It looks like J Max is good overall. What is the HFT one overall today? $53 overall today between the two of them. So that's pretty good. a lot in commissions, so $30 in commissions. Oh, did Gabby get hit? No. Indy took it long. That's interesting. I guess Gabby didn't take that last one because she just didn't get filled. I need to have something print out even if she doesn't take one. Because it apparently doesn't show you when it's setting out limit orders. Wonder if I turn on the chart trader here. It does, in fact. It shows one at 38.89, which is exactly where it happened. How long does it leave that out there for? I was concerned about that, but then I said, nah, it doesn't look like... I mean, I did the back test and it was fine. But now I'm like, okay, how long should I let it keep the order out there for? Huh. You 18 sons of bees hit that like button or we'll be in lockdown another year. No. Do we got 12 likes today for what was the peak viewer activity? 30? You show 16. Yeah, it shows 16 right now. Ah, you guys, a bunch of you clicked like, thank you very much. Bravo. 16 likes for the number of viewers. Like, that means that like half of you guys hit the like button today. That's great. And yeah, we probably would get like 20 more viewers from YouTube, but hey, you know what? So this is kind of interesting because if we were streaming on Twitch, probably we'd be doing about the same. It would be a different group of people though. I don't know. And I don't know if the streams help or hurt the algorithm. Well, we'll see how the video does after today. How many people watch it after? We'll put in, we have let's say that we did well. How should we phrase it? What do you think would be the best way to explain to them that we did good? It's probably Salim that gave us the thumbs down. I missed all along. So, Vlad, were you going short? Did they give me another one there, huh? I mean, Gabby didn't get filled, but she had the right idea. He miscarried. Well, he can come back anytime. He just has to ask me. You can still come into Discord. You can ask me. I kind of, the only thing I would say to him, though, is think hard about why you got so upset and if maybe it's really not a healthy thing to watch a stream. Because the way he was acting kind of made me feel like that for whatever reason. But still, maybe a lot of it was that technical analysis thing. So somebody else, his other friend came in and showed me some technical analysis stuff, but it wasn't enough he wasn't showing me enough to make a full system. He showed me one indicator that he was using that's not common that I thought was worth using, but it didn't really provide a significant benefit over our low pass filters. So I don't know. It's easier to get an Olympic gold medal in the 100-meter. No, it's not, Ace. Yeah, you know what I did? I created. So here's what you should do. If you have a Discord account, go into the Discord account and add me as a friend. I am. Let's see here. Yep. You add this username and you can add me as a friend. You can talk to me Discord that way instead of going into the channels. Instead of getting into the server, you can just add that user as a friend on Discord, and then you'd be able to talk to me. But I've had to create like accounts for all of my kids so that we could play Minecraft tomorrow. Or tomorrow, why did I say that? We've been playing Minecraft. And so I had to make myself a second account for it to work. So yeah. Yeah. What does this say you're putting in there, Win? Modest new contract pressure from JFK to keep inflation down. Okay, 1,000 days. Back in the inflation days. Well, I went to read this article that I had gotten about. Oh wait, where did it go? Here we go. From Adam Tooze about the 1994 bond market massacre. I'm excited to read it because I don't know about that. I don't know anything about it. Instagram is launching a live rooms feature that will allow users to live stream with up to 3 people. Minecraft is the modern family of video games. I play it for like 5 minutes, dig a hole in the earth until I fall to hell, then die, and then give up. What? Oh, we're building stuff. We got like an island. I found this really nice looking island with a really high mountaintop on it, and I built a big staircase going all the way up it. And I think I'm gonna put like an office tower on the top of it, and then down below I will have the condominiums on the sea, along the bay. So there's a bay there. It's good stuff. We're building a civilization, guys. Part of that is, stealing people from other villages, but it's happening, okay? It's for their own good. Yeah, it's good stuff. And I'm impressed with how they make the game better as time goes on, because they've added like all sorts of different kinds of things that will show up on the map that you can find. So there's like real incentive to dig around and find stuff. It's really cool. Now it looks like the robots took another bad trade. I think they're still up overall today. But only barely. Only $11. Oh, that's so bad. Yeah, it seems to me like J works generally, but that it needs a lot of work. I don't know what to do about the book here. And maybe if we just reduce the amount, that's what we'll do. So tomorrow we will try. Right now we were looking at like the whole book. We had made it larger because I was like, no, well, based on this and this, it should be. But no, we're going to look at a smaller frame. Like, let's say 24 instead of the whole book. And maybe that'll give us a better picture. I could also maybe just only look at the current imbalance. I could also just try using J2. Let's try tomorrow. We'll do J max and J2. But kind of looking at some of the ways that they took them, I kind of question about. Well, actually, no, they're fine. Those would have all gotten filled. See, Zero Hedge tweeting that Bitcoin is over 49K. Doesn't matter. Come back when it's over 60. Until then, I think that the pressure is down. When I'm telling you, we've seen this before, right? When it seems like the media people on Twitter are like taking every opportunity to talk about how much Bitcoin has moved up today, even when it's not really significant, you should be concerned. Anyways, I would have been thinking like, I don't know, we're really ready to trade the live account yet. And I was like, oh, maybe the robots will do better, but the robots, there's been some problems with them. I'm going to come back here and look at this. So there was a really bad run around the 10th. And then another on the 16th. Since then, though, it's been pretty dang good. There was this day, but I actually made all that back. I fixed that one. Yeah, I don't know. Today was really great, though. But I don't know. The issue with Brandon seems like really good, but it's not every day. He doesn't get it every day, is the problem with Brandon. So, I don't know. J&J. Gabby did great today. Oh, did Gabby got filled, did she? Oh, no way. I just turned the chart trader off, that's all. Yeah, that order's still out there. She did take one when I wasn't paying attention, though. Gabby, I have high hopes for Gabby. I have high hopes. Well, on Gabby, I was a little unsure about putting her on there because I wanted to put the order flow, the level 2 enhancements on her too. But it seems to me that the order flow thing is too complicated. That I would need to, yeah, I don't know. When it flips, that's maybe more important than what it is right now, but overall, I'd say that filter does better than random, but it's still not as predictive as I want. And it's certainly not as good as just me, I could change it so that it only goes long or only goes short according to when I turn it on. Trump wins CPAC 2024 straw poll. Well, there's J2. We still need to do co-integration. And I could look at the micro ES overall. I've been wondering if I just watch the ES and the micro ES and detect differences between them and try and take that I might be able to find a good algorithm, because it does seem like there are some things that there's not enough algorithmic traders in the micros, that there are some edges available there. Do you support Trump? That's a very broad question. I voted for him. I thought he did a good job as president. I think he makes mistakes. The whole stolen election, and even if you believe that it really happened, the way that he handled it, I think, was very bad. And yeah, I don't know. It kind of goes back and forth between like there's no chance that he would ever get reelected and like, oh, it looks like he's going to do it and yada, yada, yada. Here after CPAC, it seems like, oh, he's going to do it and he'll be successful, don't you think? I don't know. I think it'd still be really hard for him to even win Republican nomination if he ran again. I think that he could have more power elsewhere. I think he should be thinking that there's other things beyond just the presidency, but whatever. I think he would have been a better president than Biden is being right now, I'll tell you that much. I don't think that Joe Biden is doing a very good job at all. He's implemented a ton of policies that were very negative, led to job losses. You look at some of the things Israel is doing, it's leading to instability in the Middle East, it looks like. And he's like not even all there, it seems. So I'm telling you, by the end of 4 years, I think criticizing Biden will be popular and that it'll be a little bit of a drag on the Democrat Party. Especially if he doesn't run again, if Biden doesn't run for re-election. The market year, every year, one of a recovery, rising yields are normal / to be expected. Yeah, but is the degree of move that we had was unusual. And how it happened, I think, was unusual. Because the market is still going on this, oh, the economy is getting stronger, of course yields have to move up narrative still. But I think that the timing of it was important. That it happened around the bond auctions and all of that stuff, I think that's a real problem. Mm-hmm. Oh, when I look at other YouTube trading channels, they have hashtags above their channel. Jimmy, day trading, do you do this? So I have put tags in there and it kind of makes it show up there. I didn't find that it necessarily changed things compared to just putting something in your title. Certainly, if you put something in your title at the beginning of the day, and that happens to be the thing that's going on, it definitely helps. Oh, we never changed the name of our stream. What should we say? I want to use I have, which would be the first thing that people would be searching for. I'm gonna say killing it. That'll get me banned as well. Oh man. Here's some math. $50. Yeah, if she actually got that win rate, I don't. Stonks. Maybe that is what I should put in there. No, I don't want those guys. Math bah humbug. The question really to the issue is to really show her. You got to show her the drawdowns, right? Okay, you make that much, but what are the drawdowns? Your largest drawdown over a year, that'll be the thing that'll convince her. I think. And I'm pretty sure that it's less than $100, yeah? If you were doing a micro, it'd be less than $100. U.S. stocks sliding. That's bond market. No, we need to include something in there about how awesome my trading was. I'm going to say, Seth is awesome as rates retreat. Or we could just say, awesome trading. Awesome trading as rates retreat. You get it? R, rates retreat. There's also an R. It works. People will click it. You'll see. Not trying to convince anyone, but I mean, to give somebody a fair and accurate representation of how it performs, you should show them the maximum drawdown. Gonna put it that way. Oh, that's interesting. Discord is built into OBS now, and it tells me the name of the stream in Discord. That's cool. Sounds like a good title. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm good with it. Oh, they're taking another one. Let's let them do this one last one, and then we shut them down, huh? Gabby did. Let's turn the other guys off. I don't want them to get into position. Well, they won't take one. It's 9:30, so. Indy lost $20 again. Indy is just an awful algorithm. Why does he perform so differently from the backtest, I wonder? Should we flip him around? Sure seems like we should. And Gabby, though, every time that Gabby takes a trade, I'm impressed, so. You need an infinity pool? I don't need a boat. I don't need a pool. I don't think that I would take care of a pool very well. Indy, maybe he doesn't like his name. INDY, like Indiana Jones. No, I think that there's an error with how he was tested. All of them, most of them, there's like slight differences because of the places that they catch and stuff, but Indy seems to just get it dead wrong every time. Pools in Utah are as practical as snowmobiles in Texas. And I have a friend from the gym, and they have a pool. And we have parties there, and they use that pool every day, and it is totally worth it for them. But you have to keep it up, like you have to clean it regularly and change. And I'm not going to do that. Well, it is. Let me go, but let me blaming the program. No, it's an outdoor pool. Of course, they can't use it right now because it's too cold. But no, the algorithm doesn't seem to perform the way that it backtested. When I backtested it, was one of the strongest performers. But here, the other ones, they have issues, and they're often not profitable because of a difference of a tick, which I find so incredibly interesting. But Indy seems to just lose every time. So I think we should flip them around. I have a hot tub I never use for the exact reason I just question if it is dirty and then never use it. Well, I would like to build a hot tub so that I could use it would like it to be a hot tub and then a little shower next to it is what I want. So I could work out and then get in the shower, or work out and then get in the hot tub. That would be nice. And have a TV there or something. Maybe. Well, I'd have to, if I was going to have a TV, I should put a TV in the garage, I'm thinking. So, oh my gosh. Oh, it's almost time for me to go, but I'll leave you with this last thing. We cleaned the garage up quite a bit because I finally found a metal table. I've been looking for a metal table for my wife so that she can do her stuff. And I found one. And I put all this stuff away because I thought I needed to make room for the table, but then it turned out that the table was like all together in a box, so I didn't need to put it anywhere. So I did all that cleaning out for nothing. But then, we had found a bunch of stuff that we had bought for the garage that had just kind of gotten buried underneath of the boxes and stuff, after Christmas. And one of them was this light that she got. So she got this light, and it was LEDs, and it was like one central light with 4 lights that go around the end, and you can kind of point these ones out to the side if you want to. And we're like, well, we'll see how well it does. We can always just get a different light. You turn it on. It is so bright. Like the brightness of the room is perfect. You don't want to look at the light. It's so bright. You don't want to look at the light. But it totally, and it just makes me so happy to go in there and see that. So we were waiting for this guy for Jay to finish his trade, huh? Let me just make sure that my work PC is turning on. Are you rich? I wouldn't say that. I'd say pretty darn comfortable. I'm pretty impressed with how we were able to manage my wife not working for a year. When my wife works, it's like, oh, wow. We had all this stuff taken care of, and then we were ready to go into start putting a ton of money into college funds, and then the pandemic happened and she wasn't getting that income anymore, so we kind of... Anyways. Last time around, we put something about being shadow banned in the title, and that kind of helped some people, but I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yeah, they're gonna lose. It's going up. Say, it really is like. Oh, let me show you. The book. Sometimes they will go into the orders, and sometimes they will go away from the orders. So right now, this being positive means you buy, but the other day it was the exact opposite. So we could try filtering it differently, but I'm thinking, and of course we could collect more data, but I want something that's really consistent, For Jay, it should be really consistent, and that's not consistent. What it's doing here today is not consistent. So I say we get rid of him. We change it. Oh, it's fine. We've been doing really well. I want to make a video. I should make I've been thinking, I really want to get a lavalier microphone for doing stuff on the chalkboard. But then I'm like, I just don't want to spend that. I like to really get a good system. It's like $500. I just don't want to spend that right now. So maybe I'll make that video next weekend. All right, guys. And that should help the channel out a lot. Then those videos don't get shadow banned or whatever. So it's all good. It's all good. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable. Oh yeah, and make sure you bookmark that live stream link in the video description so you can find me more easily tomorrow.